anytime I bring up organic on social media, people get really upset. And I used to be like fully into organic is better, organic is, and specifically healthier, right? There are two main arguments. Like one is that it's more nutritious and the other is that it's safer. The nutritious argument, I think fewer people believe nowadays. Like they understand that organic doesn't mean more nutritious. But the safer one is like the real like major point of contention that people get upset about. They're like, it is safer. There aren't pesticides, blah, blah, blah. And I used to believe that until I actually studied it and read the research and blah, blah, blah. And I realized it's not accurate. And this is crazy. So I posted about it again recently. And every time that I post about it, I get a couple of messages saying the same thing. So I get people who their job is to spray pesticides on crops. I get people who message me, hey, that's my job, just so you know. And every time, this past time I got two people saying me this. They said, hey, this is my job. Just want you to know. They both said, they're like, please don't put my name or my handle or my picture if you decide to share this. You need to like keep me anonymous. But for whatever it's worth, anytime an organic farm has too many bugs on their crops, who do you think they call and pay extra to have me spray in the middle of the night?
Wow.
Which I was like,
sneaky.
How fucking what? Like two separate people messaged me this saying like, just so you know, even the organic farms, like when the bugs get to be too much, who do you think they're calling? And so it's and obviously organic farms, they use pesticides too, but often in different amounts, or they have different pesticides, but they're often still calling the exact same people because they can't sell their crops if the bugs are eating them, right? They can't sell their crops if they're gone. So it's like, it's just so funny to me that I don't even know if funny is the right word. It's funny and sad and scary, and there's a lot of words that come to mind, but people think that they're buying something that's better when in reality is like, it's probably the exact same thing.
They're using that buzzword because then they can sell it for a higher price, all else equal, even though they have, whoever in your DMs coming in the middle of the night to spray their crops.
It's just crazy because
we have to assume that's not the majority of organic farms, in fairness.
Or maybe it is.
Maybe it is, but I would assume it's not. I would hope that it's not, I'll say.
Yeah, I would say hope and assume. I mean, I get this message all the time. And what's crazy is I've never heard this message put out publicly on like a mainstream podcast or in the research. Like this isn't something that shows up in a research study because this is something that happens. People are paid extra for it. And the whole concept is you have to keep it secret. And so this is one of those things where it's like, you probably wouldn't hear about this. And the pesticide company, like, why wouldn't they do it? They're getting paid extra, right? So like they're getting paid more money and probably under the table because that probably can't show up on this, like their tax returns or whatever it is. Right? It would immediately like give their pharma, like it wouldn't be good for anyone involved. So this is one of those things where it's like, we wouldn't hear about this publicly. And so it's interesting for me to be on the receiving end of a relatively large audience and people being having access to so many people being like, just so you know, like this happens too. And I'm sure it's not every single farm, but for it to happen every time I bring it up, and which is pretty frequently and different people, I would say it's pretty widespread.
The deceit runs not only through the supplement industry, but straight into the mainstream organic fruits and vegetables market.